Guys, Sydney Sweeney has been outed as a member of the Republican Party. The shock, the horror. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Today we're talking again about Sydney Sweeney. She's had quite the week. Her American Eagle ad came out, and where they said Sydney Sweeney has good genes, the left said that's Nazism and advocating for eugenics, because that makes sense. Yes, this ad split the world in half, with apparently some people viewing it as racist and the other side championing it and saying, you know, for once, it's good to have hot people in an ad where we can say, yeah, she's hot by these genes. It's really as simple as that. At least that was my interpretation. But now Sydney Sweeney is getting heckled at events and being called racist for appearing in an ad. Oh yes, stop the ad. That is being racist. A well-articulated claim. So many have been duking it out on the internet talking about this American Eagle ad. I made a video on my channel about it if you guys want to check it out. Even the likes of the Vice President of the United States has weighed in on this American Eagle ad. He essentially told Democrats, continue doing what you're doing. And by doing what you're doing, I mean accusing people of being Nazis and racist when they do very normal things, like say Sydney Sweeney is attractive. You'll continue on the trajectory of losing everything all the time and will continue to be up. Now, when this endorsement came from essentially the White House, many were telling Sydney Sweeney, this is not an endorsement that you want. I cannot believe the White House is talking about this. They're saying that Sydney Sweeney's publicist is freaking out because she's been endorsed by the White House, and that's such a horrible thing. But I guess not so much anymore, as somebody has found Sydney Sweeney's voter registration and posted it online. And allegedly, she is registered with the Republican Party of Florida. Now, this is not news. At least it should not be news, but it is being treated as such. Apparently, this is such a shocking revelation to some that Sydney Sweeney would dare to be a young woman in Hollywood registered with the Republican Party. Others are saying this is typical for somebody looking like Sydney Sweeney with the blonde hair and the blue eyes. Her white privilege is shining through in her political registration. And now that she's been outed as a Republican, she is the talk of the town. And I use the phrase outed as a Republican because it seems like she has just been shoved out of the closet here. At least that's how people are treating it. And it's amazing to me to see just political party affiliation be talked about like it's just the craziest thing in the world. This news is apparently so big, it reached Donald Trump himself, who has reacted to it. Let's watch the clip.
Actress Sydney Sweeney came out this weekend that she was a registered Republican. Any thoughts on that?
That who was?
Sydney Sweeney. She's like a very hot actress right now.
She's a registered Republican?
Yes.
Oh, now I love her ad. Is that right? Is Sydney Sweeney? You'd be surprised at how many people are Republicans. That's what I wouldn't have known, but I'm glad you told me that. If Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, I think her ad is fantastic. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Guys, what is going on? Why is this news for the President of the United States? When I tell you every day I'm refreshing my feeds and just really not knowing what's going to pop up next, I have no idea what's going to pop up next. And I guess it's because registering as a Republican these days is either a scarlet letter for some or a badge of honor for others. And to see somebody like Sydney Sweeney, who is A-lister, I guess at this point, be registered with the Republican Party, it kind of sends shockwaves through the US at this point. And this is not the first time that many have speculated that Sydney Sweeney may be a member of the Republican Party. I'm chronically online, and I remember when Sydney Sweeney had a birthday party for her mother, and I guess family members and attendees of this party were wearing MAGA hats in the state of Idaho, and this went viral because pictures were posted online, and people could not believe that Sydney Sweeney would associate with people who were willing to wear Make America Great Again hats. Then she had to come out and address this whole controversy, saying that they were just doing it to be funny. And now we have this possible voter registration that says she's actually a member of the Republican Party. And of course, my first thoughts at the forefront of my brain is who cares? And then I remember the world we live in where everything is completely divided politically and you must believe and toe the line of a certain ideology in order to be accepted. And then I figure out exactly who cares because they can't stop talking about it. And of course, Sydney Sweeney is a young woman in Hollywood, and we know that Hollywood is dominated by the political left. So it's really interesting to see this come out about her specifically as somebody who's been thrust into a controversial space with this American Eagle ad, who is also a young woman who I guess many expect to be supporting feminism and Black Lives Matter and all of these different left-leaning projects. And of course, on the other end, as I said before, you have people who have always had this expectation of Sydney Sweeney to be a member of the Republican Party, saying with her blonde hair and her blue eyes and her white privilege, they'd expect nothing less from her. There are many more celebrities out there that do not toe the line of leftist ideology, but many of them are just keeping it hush-hush because they know that's what they have to do for their career. As I said, this is like being outed, like being thrown out of the closet because of the way that people treat this in this modern day and age. People do not mess around with Republicans in Hollywood, and I can imagine it would deeply impact the careers of many who maybe secretly have Republican or conservative beliefs. I've met many an actor or musician who will whisper and say, I'm registered Republican, or I have conservative beliefs, or even I support Donald Trump, but they'll never be willing to say that out loud. In fact, many of them are going into spaces and pretending to be something they're not, which is wild because of how they're going to be treated on the other end of this news being found out about them. And while I don't do this to be news at all, it's because many others in the world do that this is so shocking that this is getting publicized in the way that it is. And on one hand, it's nobody's damn business whether or not you're registered Republican, Democrat, Independent, or if you're not registered at all. What should it matter to anybody so long as you are showing up doing your job? And for Sydney Sweeney, that's acting or appearing in ads nowadays or selling soap with her bathwater in it. I don't know why anybody cares. But in the world where people do, I almost wish there were more celebrities, musicians, people of status who have these pedestals that they're standing on who would come out and outwardly say, you know what, I have conservative beliefs or I am registered with the Republican Party. So it wouldn't be as shocking as it's come to be today. Again, this should not be news. There once was a time where everybody could be registered wherever they want, and maybe we'd talk about it or maybe we didn't, but at the end of the day, we accepted each other despite our differences in political beliefs. But that time is not this time. Things have changed dramatically, and I wish it could go back to the way it was. I'm very curious to see if Sydney Sweeney is even going to speak out about this registration being posted online and everybody tripping over themselves to talk about it, or if she's not going to address it at all. I'm also interested to see if this is going to impact her career at all or how she's treated online, because with what I'm seeing so far, it just might. But she might be of the status that transcends being able to be touched by information and news like this coming out. So I guess we'll keep an eye on it. But my goodness, am I done talking about Sydney Sweeney this week? So can we please stop?
I'm not gonna stop you.
Drudging up more stuff about her that at the end of the day doesn't matter. You're either going to support American Eagle or you're not. You're either going to support the Republican Party or you're not. You're either going to support Sydney Sweeney or you're not. And if political affiliation is the thing at the end of the day that dictates what you do and how you treat somebody and how you talk about them, come on now. Go outside, touch some grass, put down the damn phone, because what are we talking about here? As I said before, you know, she's a Republican, I guess. Maybe, allegedly. Who cares? Guys, those are my thoughts. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, if you disagree with anything said in this video, do get down, but do so respectfully. I encourage healthy debate on this channel. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video for you guys, which is every day. And I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully with news that is not about Sydney Sweeney. Bye.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.